Hey everybody, Mobile Rager here, and I've got another set of patch notes. To be honest, I thought there was another toon this season for some reason. Then I looked back and nope, the math adds up. So we've not read anything going on here. I mean, the reactions on Discord seem to be quite negative, so I don't know what's going on in these patch notes, but I guess we'll find out. Season 39 patch notes. The hunt is over. It's the Season 39 patch. Hey, Looney Renos. Hope everyone's competitive streak is going strong. That is an interesting way of opening this, but sure. First and foremost, we'll be completing the Hillbilly team this season by introducing the two remaining members. Okay, yeah, no, checks out. Aside from that, we'll be unveiling two new hunters. Interesting. And reworking most of the existing characters into this theme. Much like Divine, the hunters will now be divided into two new teams that will offer their own synergies in gameplay. I mean, I don't mind that. Assuming they mean divine in the, mechanical sense, and not just, two teams under one tag. Because what's nice about the divine is you kind of just mix and match them, throw them wherever. So if these new hunters sort of work together like that, that's kind of nice. I could respect that. The Woodsmen are masters of the hunt and specialize in small game. Joining this team are OG Elmer, I presume, Elmer Fudd, Marvin Fudd, two Fudds, and two new methodical hunters who know their way around the woods. Okay, bold visionary claim here. The team has two Fudds on it already. It's gonna be Bugs, and it's gonna be a Daffy. This, new idea I'm presenting right now. But I'm assuming those two. Well, it makes sense, right? Doji Elmer, Marvin Fudd would presumably not like Daffy because he's from a Duck Dodgers episode. It would make sense. Without going too deep, the Woodsmen have a lot of passive attack synergy and often prey on the weakest target by inflicting them with Hunter's Mark. Once marked, targets move slower, find it harder to recover, have their buffs stolen, and defenses lowered until they're inevitably hunted down one after the other. Here's a sneak peek into their theme passive. Okay, during a Woodsman's Toon's turn, the most injured enemy is Hunter's Mark. Woodsman Toons attacks against enemies with attack against enemies. Hunter's Mark at plus 10% attack, plus 20% tenacity. I'm missing a lot of these effects here. Actually, literally 0% of these effects are in the skill. But I suppose that's what the characters are doing. We'll see what Elmer has going on. Alright, once upon a safari. While some of the hunters are withdrawing into the woods, the others are setting out on a safari. Okay, so it's like Tasmania hunters, forest hunters, gotcha. So I'm assuming the safari team will be, who I thought it would be, who I thought it would be the main hunter team, if you would. I'll reword this as to be bigger equipped for bigger hunts and pursuits. This team will be centered around counter chance and lifesteal. Here's what the theme pass is like. Yeah, kind of about the same as the, let me get there. They're like Monstein in a way. That does make them like the 5th team to just not even care about Lunar Lola. Well, I guess Lunar Lola already was not important. Lunar Lola was already bad against hunters, because they're mostly relying on Outback Dog with his passive chance, which I guess is the theme passive now, so you might not even have it anymore. But yeah, she's just another area where she's completely no help. Okay, reworks down below. As always, it may not be the final version, is subject to change. Yeah, I think Yo's house party, they're the most obviously subject to change between what was written and was actually added to the game. Okay, Woodsmen. So yeah, UG Elmer. These reworks, Elmer FUD. A lot better defensive tools at his disposal, increase base stats, and the Hunter's Mark synergy, all of which will enable him to be a legendary leader. Alright, it's another legendary promotion going on in here. For the Woodsman, and improve the team's viability. While his passive will no longer grant lifesteal. Do you mean the... I guess we'll find out down below. I literally... like, who uses OG Elmer? I literally don't even know. Because I wasn't playing during beta. He'll have more utility in terms of granting team-wide buffs, removing enemies' buffs, inflicting debuffs, turning your manipulation passive AoE damage. Passive AoE damage. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Added to Woodsman, so the Hunter tag is not removed. Curious. Well, not curious. That was the way I wanted that to work. So it's like, you know, Hunter's sort of, what am I going to call an umbrella tag? Various teams. I mean, at least there's these two. I have no idea what to do with what else is Hunter at this point. I could look. Why guess? You know, I'm sitting here like, what else is going on in the Hunter's tag? But we have technology. Okay, so reworked. Not him. Okay, so these two, there's two. Although I feel like you could make him a Woodsman just fine. Reworked. Okay, so Trapper and Huntsman are the other two that are like an X factor. I guess I could make it. Well, that'd be two. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so that'll be most of them at this point. Let's just be those two that are like weird. Stat increases, I do not understand. Wow, his health basically doubled. Alright, less damage on the basic. Again, why did it do 114? Not a fan. Was never a fan. Like, I knew it did 114. But it just pissed me off. Okay, moving to stat up. Taunt's about the same. The attack up is now uncapped, and he inflicts speed down. Okay, solid. This Alliance Ward stun. I mean, it's good. I guess a stun on a unclassed stun on a skill like this would be a little extra. Okay, damage is down on this, and the healing is flat now, rather than being based off his attack, which is better, probably. They have Hunter's Mark. I get turn meter removed from. Sure, I guess. Alright, pellet spray. Oh, this is the AoE here. Gotcha. So before it was just it was like a better destabilizer. Now, it's like splash, which is a weird way of phrasing it. They hit one guy for like most of the damage, and everybody else gets a fixed amount. Okay, I can respect it. I mean, something like damage up or a damage modifier increase would do a lot in terms of what? Let me put my brain together. And still flexing into defense though. I didn't even notice that for a second. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not following. Let's keep things moving. Most of these videos are gonna have like 40 minutes. Alright, 100 team. Let's heal against rabbits or birds. That's what it was, right? Okay, unless incapacitated, no number of team member attacks. What? Oh, okay. I feel like you could just put 2 commas in this and it'd work. But okay, whenever an enemy attacks, team member attacks an enemy with Hunter's Mark, heal them for 10% max health. Alright, good. You get a little passive damage on him. I mean, Elmer should be getting it every turn. He's peeling off an attack because that's the way this works. I was gonna say what about counter, but I think this would ignore counter because of the way passive damage works. I could be wrong. If I would be wrong, that is a pretty massive oversight. Cause I mean, technically prehistoric has like a similar effect where their basics do splash while they have frenzy. But the basics with frenzy also ignore counter, so I don't know if that was a reactive measure or not, but I guess we'll have to see. First time each enemy is inflicted with Hunter's Mark unless incapacitated. Inflict 2 defense down on them and grant 2 attack up all allied attackers. Wait, is that a bad effect? I don't know how overkill of an effect that is, though. Like, it's 2 defense down and 2 attack up. It's not even like to the whole team or anything, or from like more than 1 turn. Especially, I don't get this either. But we're moving along. Alright, less incapacitated with an enemy is inflicted with Hunter's Mark. There's a 25% chance per Woodsman team member to remove all taunt from the enemy teams. Alright, like like assassins in a way. No, it's basically just assassins, I think. Or, well, it depends on the Hunter's Mark infliction. No, hold on. Yeah, I can see it on my screen. I just didn't remember. It's inflicted on Hunter's Mark, yeah. So I was contemplating earlier scrolling back up because I had forgotten what the skill did. But it's just... So during Woodsman's turn, the most injured enemy is Hunter's Mark. And this goes every time. It's a special condition. They're not applicable to tenacity. So it's just... At the start of each Woodman's team member's turn, they remove all taunt for the enemy team, which is like the exact same thing assassins do. So that's good. Another big sauce taunt removal. Yeah, I mean, like most teams have some layer of taunt removal at this point, but yeah, that's what it's come to. It's come to layers. I guess I don't mind considering how wacky taunt's gone, but. Fun. We're gonna draw this right alongside him. Have higher base damage and piercing will passively inflict damage over time. Instead of attacking a toon when he's defeated, his passage will not enable him to attack when enemies fall below defined health threshold. Strongest attack will reset his cooldown when he's low on health and will be more than capable to inflict debuffs that lower the enemy's healing and defense. Okay. Now, if I remember Marvin Flood right, is they have 4 attack Andy, or 4 skill Andy, I should say. So we'll see what they do with them. Numbers. Way bigger damage multiplier on defense down. All I asked for is afflicts recovering down. Cool. I wonder if that's what they're talking about. Maybe they're not. I don't know. Okay, once per enemy. There's a lot of words that have been added to this. Once per enemy, when enemy falls below reduce some max health during another toon's turn, unless incapacitated, damage them for 30%. Attack them for 30% damage. And gain 20% turn meter. Yeah. Okay. It's very different. I mean, there's less passive damage now, but that's what you can do. Once per battle, when they fall, enemy falls. This is once per battle. Okay, I had to double check this one, but no, that's once per enemy, which is good. So that should work. I guess it's not like revive cheesable now, but. Inflict 5 healing down all enemy supports, and these attacks can't crit now, which they do kind of do with the passive pew pew type things. Okay, same damage, and it's a little extra piercing for hunters. Cool. I hit a lot more skills than I remember him having. Wait, is this 4? This is 4. I lied. When his tomb falls below 25% max health, you set the cooldown of this ability. Since attacks inflict 4 damage, inflict damage over time. Plus 25% piercing against enemies with Hunter's Mark. Does damage over time only apply to enemies with Hunter's Mark? I'm like assuming not, but the phrasing is not the best here. The way this is ordered, you could totally read it that way. Okay, I think they did a pretty good job. Yeah, his speed in his boots. Pretty thwacky damage. He had 279 to begin with. I think is that good? I don't know. I really have no read on his stats profile. He could be the biggest glass cannon in the entire universe now, and I wouldn't know. Alright, Safari. Major Cat. Leading the Safari team is Major Canassa, and these reworks will enable him to grant buffs that will notably improve the team's defensive stance. We'll notice we've slightly decreased the damage dealt by him, but his base attack stat has received a significant bump. I could see already, yes it did. Which should more than make up for it. What's more? Okay, that's not more than the glass guy. It is still a lot though. It's like a 50% increase. His leadership skills have been tweaked, now synergized specifically with the Safari team, allowing them to heal every time they counter an attack. Okay, and like the other team there, just been added to it. They keep the hunter attack. About the same. Our passive now, we like that. They didn't increase the damage by that much. Let's see. We got enemies at the end of the next turn. Okay, I think that actually works the same still. So this does 10% less damage. But it grants extra defense and recovery for 2 turns, so pretty marked improvement in my book. At the end of each of his toon's turns, get 3 defense up and 2 piercing up, then unless incapacitated, grant all hidden allies attack up and piercing up. Solid. It was a bit flat guy. That doesn't mean anything. He gained a lot of piercing up for a defender. Just funny. I mean, I guess he's the taunter and counterattack, so he's going pow, pow, which works, but single defensive for 2 turns. Thrilling, but I guess he's doing this every turn, so. And he made himself defensive with the hidden move, so it all works out, I suppose. Oh, this is an addition. I don't know, I thought it already worked that way. It's a tad unnecessary, but that's good. So if you get your taunt ignored, you still basically have to hit him, unless you can somehow expunge all taunt and hidden at the same time. And some teams that do, but he's a hasty defender, if I remember right. Move 5 attack, I'm piercing up for all enemies, so. Well, actually, it was uncapped before. So that's a tad lame, but I guess you have the piercing out. They're at least like side grading these a little. Yeah, 5 attack down still there. Okay. Once per enemy, unless incapacitated, enemy falls below 50% max health, grant all allies 20% turn meter. Once per ally, it is at least incapacitated. When an ally defeats enemy, grant them 100% turn meter. So it actually works to say it has literally only added. Interesting. So you should be able to run circles around your enemies. Or season. Yeah, it's a little strange. Heal over time? What's that gonna do? I mean, it still has it, but. Oh man. I don't know. Oh, sorry, this is steal all over time. That's just 1. That's actually way better. I guess those enemies don't get like super duper turbo insane amounts of heal over time anymore, but. Okay. This team's playing on defense, grant all 100 allies hidden at the start of battle. Arguably unnecessary. And once 2 enemies in battle, all enemies have 100% minus 50% attack until the end of this toon's first turn. Is he not a hasty defender? Did I remember the game wrong? I guess I did. Okay. Leadership skill. Are they... Did they forget? I guess they forgot. He had one. He had one. Alright, while 2 remains in battle, Safari 2 members deal 5... I guess that's like a shorthand for additional 5% max health damage. I have no idea if it's hit dependent or not. You might just be able to do 5% max health damage to anybody. Which would be kind of nice against like damage over time teams. Chip away at them. What are they gonna do about it? They hit you, you hit them, and it's like, nah, you take 5% max health damage. Anyways, lol. If they perform a counterattack, they heal for 10% max health. Okay. Made required changes. Required is an interesting phrase. But I'm curious to see what they do. The contraption is egghead to make him more able to attack her and give him better synergies with the new team. His trap enthusiast passive will now trigger when he uses a trap ability and will additionally random hidden. The cooldown on his Planus approach skill will be reduced. Aside from that, his special attacks will strongly emphasis on inflicting debuffs, allowing him to deal damage over time. Interesting. Low the enemy's defense or recovery, so it's just like recovery down, defense down. Numbers. Yeah, so this doesn't work now. Or this does not work the same. Admittedly, this is kind of crazy. I mean, it wasn't really. But, you know what I mean, like in a modern context. Yeah. That feels like Pumpernickel's hidden for 90% of the battle anyway, so who knows. Damage gain piercing at 100 team members gain attack up. Okay. Solid. This toon uses a trap ability, which is... Do they mean these? Or do they mean that, like, any of these? These technically are all trap skills. I guess this one isn't, but this has trap in the name. Okay, whatever. Let's do use a trap ability. Gain hidden for 3 turns. Okay. Works. The team likes the hidden. Unless incapacitated one of those toons. Trap ability activates. Gain 50% turn meter. Heal for 15% max health. And grant your team. Yeah, it's the same. I guess it's a stun clause now, but that's cool. Yeah, that's probably what I expected. Oh, that's not very... You know, for this skill, I don't even mind it, because it's not a very pragmatic way of clearing things. Like, if you're doing this to clear out chuff in event battles, which is like the issue. I brought it up eons ago, but we'll point it out. There are a lot of piss-easy event battles. Turn 1 AoEs are nice to just clear through them. But, I don't notice we haven't even gotten Hillbillies rework. Like, they're putting this season's patch notes and they've finished the last season's. Whatever, but more information sooner is better than information later, as far as I'm concerned. With season 40's patch notes tomorrow, no one care. Well, I would care because then we're getting nothing for 2 months. A little mysteries at the door. There's place to travel trigger the start of the enemy, next enemy's turn. Dealing 90%, yeah. Okay, sorry, 10% damage reduction instead of the hidden removal. It's defense down, recovery down, damage over time for 2 turns. Okay, sure. Alright, okay, that's cooldown reduction, that's stun move. It is good. Faster stuns. Trap the target enemy at the start of their next turn. 25% max health damage to that enemy, stunning them until the end of the next turn. Right, okay. That makes sense. I was reading this part ahead and wondered, is that not just the same thing as stun? But the way this ability works, no, it's not. Does beg the question of the stun just instantly Lamaued? I guess I could make it at the end of the next turn. That should work, depending on the order of operations, but I'm just gonna ignore it. It works this way. It's fine. Oh no, the world's most inefficient buff flipping is removed. Well, never mind, it's a bad ability now. Okay. I mean, they took the hidden out of this move, so... I'm assuming it works with this passive. I guess 3 turns of hidden, you'll live, but... Yeah, I'm curious. Alright, so actually a slight damage increase, that has been pretty rare. Nice. Like to take defense down for 2 turns, pretty good. Right, all team members 2 attack up and 2 piercing. The Alliance of Warriors has the extra piercing that Fudd had, Marvin Fudd. That's sort of his team of 4 Fudds. I'll be flummoxed. Cause didn't they dress up like Elmer at the end of the original Rabbit season short? When it became Elmer season. I have no idea if that's what they'll go with, but... I'm firmly locking in Bugs and Daffy. We'll find out in like 2 days when they post the blog post, but... I just wanted to, like, I'm just putting my cards on the table. I know nothing, but it's science. Now the Reworks and Bushwhacker help them support better by getting defense up and cleansing a setup that does up the team. Situation camouflage, it's heal over time. Improved modal. Oh, game mode active effect. Proactive and reactive trigger. I have no idea what his move passive ability is for. Did they limit these on toons? I haven't really thought about this. same, but attack up to one ally, defense up to the most injured team member. Solid. What on God's green earth is this? Heal all the team members for 130% heal power? What does that mean? What does that mean? Okay, I know what that means, but why would you write it this way? What is the doing there? You've been making these same skills for like 40 billion years. No, I don't know why this one's phrased like that, but quite frankly, I'm not worrying about it anymore, because they changed the wording, but they changed the wording to something that's not better. Okay. Added cleanse. The health steal is reduced, but is a bit longer now. Like, 100% sure. I've used old hunters before. Less incapacitated at the start of battle, and each of the enemy with the highest attacks turns gain hidden 3 defensive. About the same. I see. It's been moved from this. If this toon is below 65% max health, gain heal over time as well. Okay, so he can passively just heal himself. He'll just be chilling. Okay, they've got the all taunt going on here, which is, yeah, kind of how these things work now, so that's good. Because there are scenarios where you're getting 2 stacks of taunt, 3 stacks of taunt for some reason. I guess it depends. If you're in like a pros, the easiest way off the top of my head, they can never do it if the entire team gets knocked down to 1 by something. Sam Sheep's says they're going for like 4 million years. This is the same. That's the same. Okay, so no line. Okay, so the line score is got moved here. This is for all attackers in a line score. And this is about the same, but again some extra healing. Coolio. So Reworks will shift Outback Dog from a damage debuffer to a purely disruptive counterattacker and improve the overall sustainability of his team. Aside from receiving higher base stats, he'll also be able to flip up on enemies, grant turn meter to his team. In order to strengthen his relationship synergy, his wilderness life will require at least 1 hunter ally to activate and grant them all max health instead of lifesteal. In order to modernize capture battles more synergistic, strategic, and fair, made necessary adjustments to his skills. Watch the teeth and jungle remedy. Safari numbers I don't understand. So the damage bonus is reduced, but now it flips instead of the defense down. Okay, this is what they mean. The interesting thing, they've taken the stun clause out of this move. It's now silence only that turns it off. Interesting. I don't know if it's an error, but don't really care. 25% max health is kind of big. Like, I'd much rather have that than 25% lifesteal. I guess it gets turned off if it gets silenced, but still interesting. Because, I mean, like, in the use of the actual team, he is, like, I mean, he is basically that, what am I talking about? Literally 100% counter chance across the board. Which is pretty big. Okay, this skill is roughly the same. I mean, it flips buffs on the enemy as well. Or stat up. So I should be specific. Oh, wait. Am I wrong? No, the same. They just phrased this part a little bit differently. They're all still for 2 turns. At least I think that's how that worked. No idea if that's how that worked before, to be honest, but I'm gonna pretend. Once per team member per each of the toon's turns. Whenever team member performs a counterattack, grant them 2 attack up, piercing up, and 15% turn meter. Okay, so the duration and the things of this have gone down. And it is capped as well. So if you get hit with the AoE special, I was thinking AoE like in a metaphorical sense there, or special in a metaphorical sense there. But I suppose an actual AoE special would work. What I like to call the Pig Kahuna effect, because it's only him. The rest of his team, the rest of the scoundrels, PSA. I'm gonna give an official PSA here. Don't use Pig Kahuna. He sucks. And the reason I don't like him is he gets himself killed 90% of the time. You use the AoE, it does damage. You know, like you could just, I guess, not use it when you want to get something with counterattack, but they're normally quite good against something with counterattack. So now with Pig Kahuna, he'll just atom bomb himself out of existence. Especially on this team, it's 100% counter chance. So they just you could go bam, 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 bam. Dead. Like, it's not that bulky. So it's slightly like it's one less of each of the buffs. But it's also less duration. Although everyone gets the piercing up now. And there's also turn meter involved. So I consider it a decent side grid. Okay. Jungle Remedy seems to be passive now, which I guess makes sense. Although if I go up here, okay, I always thought it was a weird skill. It was his only way of getting hidden, aside from other team members, which is a little obnoxious, but oh, this is fun. It kind of, I think it was Elmer the Sure. Did a very similar thing. He had a active healing move, which isn't worse, but I feel like on an attacker, you want something way more proactive than bringing a turn where you could be doing damage with your damage character. The heal just them, nobody else. So now, once per battle, it's incapacitated when he falls below 50% max health. It does roughly the same effects. The turn meter goes to support. Yeah, this is also weird. Like, he's just gonna gain the turn meter, not be hidden after 5 minutes, so I don't know what was going on there. But as the whole blog post, I think it's pretty good. I don't know if this is just people practically dislike the patch notes or whatever. But I think if you can get interested about anything, this game's gonna be this is the only damn thing that goes on in this game. So anyways, I'm the Mobile Rager. That's all, folks. They posted this at like 3 in the morning. I'm going to